So, look, would you recommend over-exaggerated incline flies to a beginner? Hi, Mike, diagnosed with gastroparesis and celiac disease. Any advice on diets to gain size? Best fitness influencer you've collabed with?
First of all, what is an influencer, a fitness influencer?
To the fans, it's somebody that's famous on social media for fitness.
So that's not like somebody that's actually a champion. It's very interesting when you meet somebody that grows up on social media compared to you meet somebody that's done the trenches.
Yeah. You compete in any sports as a kid? Like soccer, swimming, ping pong?
Thank you, my man. Thank you.
What is your favorite sport to watch? Fighting?
Ooh. Yeah, fighting.
Fighting?
Yeah.
It's probably my favorite to watch too.
Wrestling, judo.
Contact sport.
Yeah, contact sport, MMA. Yeah. But MMA is losing it for me a little bit because it's becoming more of a it's a hype name relative to fighters. So that's why I do like two elite wrestlers or judo players going against each other.
Some old school K1.
Oof. Yeah, a lot of my friends that were just monsters. This is an interesting one because
who's the best fitness influencer you've collabed with?
First of all, what is an influencer, a fitness influencer?
To the fans, it's somebody that's famous on social media for fitness.
So that's not like somebody that's actually a champion, is it?
It could be.
Sorry, kiddo, I'm old school, so I'm trying to figure out what a fitness influencer is.
Because, like, I wouldn't call Phil Heath an influencer.
No, I wouldn't call Phil Heath an influencer.
But people might call Phil Heath an influencer. I don't know. I wouldn't.
I'll go both ways on this because I don't know what a fitness influencer. I think an influencer is somebody that just has a great personality that has a good following on social media.
Gymshark person.
They haven't won anything. They haven't done anything, but they have a good following because people love their personalities and stuff. So I'd go. Well, I don't know because I don't team up with influencers.
That one, I was an influencer. David Lade.
He
was cool.
David was a straight influencer. Yeah, David Lade was really good.
Really funny. For
somebody that's an influencer, David, good personality, young, good-looking kid, had fun with it, witty.
He killed it.
I wish he would get out to Hollywood and just stay trying to get into projects because he's got great improv. He's quick on his feet. Now for champions, who's the favorite person I've teamed up champion-wise? It's a tough one because it's hard to beat Stan Efferden and me because there's such a brotherhood rivalry that takes me to another level. So I'd go off of him because of the fact that it takes me to another level and I got to dig deep. So I would say Stan Efferden.
I wouldn't say CT's an influencer.
CT's not an influencer because he was a powerlifting champion back in my 80s.
Yeah.
He's
I forget what you call it. Titled.
Yeah, he's got he's won stuff. But see, he's like, that's a tough one too because they're friends of mine.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm also trying to think of an influencer, somebody I just teamed up with because they're famous. So I would say David Lade, because I think of Tavi as a successful. First of all, he was a great soccer player, and then also he competes. So Tavi's even above. And for me, I think champions to me, but I'm old school. I know that the kids today probably love their influencers, but I like champions. There's guys that have very little following that I think are more impressive than most these guys that have all the following.
You always learn something really small when you work out with the champions. They just tell you like the smallest of things, but it's so huge and like the impact it can have. That's the coolest thing I think.
I think what you just hit on something is really interesting because I'm going to remove the influencer aspect of this. I'm just going to say people I've trained with.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. It's very interesting when you meet somebody that grows up on social media compared to you meet somebody that's done the trenches,
Yeah.
that competed in whatever aspect they've competed. It doesn't matter if they're basketball players, which I teamed up with MMA fighters, UFC fighters, which is the same thing, wrestlers, Olympic lifters, power lifters, creators of real estate, finance. So I realized that influencers or people I meet are echoes of what's online. There's absolutely nothing under the surface.
Cookie cutter.
And that's why I probably don't understand what the influencer means fully. I love the aspect of the other ones that have been in the trenches, because I feel like I'm talking to somebody new that had an insight about something that makes sense and that I haven't heard before. Or they go back to the little things, the little details that they don't echo in the world, which influencers seem to be echoes of each other. This guy said this, so I'm going to copy that and say that and say that. So that's the big thing.
So look, would you recommend over-exaggerated incline flies to a beginner?
Oh, you know what? Somebody just said something similar to this.
Because the guy we train with today, he's a beginner. Would he do over-exaggerated incline flies? Absolutely.
So I put behind the neck press up the other day, right?
Yeah.
And they said that's only an advanced exercise. And I go, you're an idiot. That's the complete opposite.
It's 100%.
You're a complete idiot for saying that behind the neck press is for an advanced lifter. And at that point, when you're an advanced lifter, most of them can't do behind the neck press because they've built up this intense amount of muscle, and they don't have that flexibility anymore. Where every beginner walks into the gym, and you should be able to put your arms behind the back. You should be able to move before you start getting that stiff muscle because you think that's the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah.
No, my exercises are for beginners.
Yeah.
100%. And that's why I'm being able to do silly kind of squats in odd positions with healthy knees at 150 years old.
And hopefully a beginner has the mindset, that white belt mentality, where they know what necessary steps they have to take. You know, all right, I'm a beginner. I can only do this with 20 pounds today, maybe next month, and for the next half of a year. So I'm going to stay there because I'm a beginner. Hopefully that's the mindset of the beginner.
If they're watching us, I hope that.
Yeah. Okay, let me try this exercise out and load 315 up, and then let's take it for, see what happens.
Take this question. Now, all of you think about this. This question is an over-exaggerated fly that I do for beginners. Well, imagine this.
If you don't know, it's a fly up top, like that.
Up and over. So let's say a beginner goes in, open mind, willing to try anything. That's an odd exercise, and it's a very interesting range of motion. So he takes 5 pounds and he does this exercise. Now, what's great is if he can get his mind and muscle connection to do it with that 5 pounds, he just took off 10 years of that curve to become a better lifter.
Right. Where
everybody else goes into the gym and stays with that basic form of flies, and they don't even get the connection for 10 years. They can't even, I do flies, but I don't really feel it kind of attitude, which happens all the time. So yes, the lifting I do is for beginners because they're open-minded. They understand that the body is a full range of motion. They're flexible in that sense. They haven't destroyed their bodies by just doing the same kind of squat or this bench press. This bench press kills me. The powerlifting bench press. First off, 90% of you, 99% of you are not powerlifters. So stop benching like a powerlifter. Second is that powerlifting bench isn't going to help you develop the chest you want. It's shorting. Why would you take that much range of motion away from an exercise? So you can load up weight? Go do floor press. Same thing. Go do floor press your whole career. The range of motion, being able to stay open and staying healthy in that sense, a beginner lifter is going to explode. And you guys are going to be able to see this. See, what one great thing is over the next 15 years, you get to see how I train Titan.
Ooh.
Somebody I do not want hurt. Somebody that's going to keep a white belt mentality. And someone that's going to be, by the time he's 13, 14 years old, will be bigger than any Mr. Olympia that's ever walked on stage. Why is that? How could he be? How could he be bigger than a 250, 60-pound guy? Guys, I was 275 at 15. You don't think this kid's going to be 275 at 14?
People don't get that.
They don't get that. There's
a.
a. You guys are misconceptions of what's big and what's not big.
So let me pop this up real quick then. I just looked up David Lady, 6'3", 195. How does he have such a good composition at the weight?
Because his bone structure and he's muscular.
He thinks he's big. He thinks 6'3", 195 is big.
Does he think it's big?
That's what I would assume.
I think he looks great. I think he looks great. 6'3"? No, 6'2"?
Maybe 6'2".
Maybe 6'2".
He's tall.
He's tall, good size. 195. Great structure.
Is that hard to comprehend? A guy that's 6'2" is 195 and in great shape.
That shouldn't be. He's 21 years old. He's 22 years old.
It absolutely shouldn't be. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
that should be the average.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you go to the gym and you don't look like David Lade, then you're not doing it correctly. Obviously, he has a great bone structure, and he's training. And he also did a 700 deadlift. So he also doesn't run away from that other stuff. So.
That's what I was just saying, because you were talking about, you're how old? 14, 15?
15 years old, 275.
Full-grown man.
So you guys get your butts moving, mostly you youngsters, and do the beginner. Do not say that you're advanced. Say that you're a beginner. Always a beginner. Always learning. Always get better.
Hi, Mike. Diagnosed with gastroparesis and celiac disease. Any advice on diet to gain size? Did you guys talk about that?
Find out what you can and can't eat for you.
Bam.
Not what the books say, not what the internet says. Find out what you can and can't eat. All right. And then we just keep building on that. That's my recommendation, is take notes. Take notes on what's working for you and what's not working for you, to be able to just keep in. And then we just keep building up from there. CT Fletcher's an influencer. No, CT Fletcher is a champion. Yeah. Don't start using these kids' terms and clarifying. Influencer is a champion.
Are influencers.
Yeah. No, that's a champion power lifter. He's not an influencer.
Yeah,
he's I just think influencer is such a See, there's a difference. When Frankie or somebody else said that he's an influencer, that to me diminishes what CT is.
I'll show you an influencer.
CT is someone that competed against us in powerlifting.
Yeah.
Won, did great in powerlifting, and then went through battles. Mm-hmm. That's a warrior. That's a guy. An influencer could be I can give you an example. There's an influencer that's 7 years old that makes $14 million a year because he talks about toys.
There's an influencer right there. Josh is an
influencer. Josh is a master.
Josh is.
But I try not to use influencers for my friends like that. Those guys deserve to be called champions. Right. Influencers can be anybody with a big following. So
CT is a champion.
Yeah, he's a champion.
And a mentor.
We don't do the great plit things. We just get rid of those. And anybody that thinks that, goodbye. Problem is, I know these people. Yeah. So good or bad, I know what the real person was the actual behind the curtain at Oz compared to what these people were. Mm-hmm. It's weird how that terminology means you're a champion. No, it does not. No. But to kids, influencer means you're a champion. Oh, he's famous. See, I like how Aaron does this.
What?
He deleted his social media and everything because he knows what's important for him and his family and this stuff. Mm-hmm. And he's more famous than any of these guys. Yeah. Man, that's so much fun out there. We just got back not even a month ago from out east and training out there, and did a workshop out there. So that was awesome. I love it, man. Keep that training. Keep training at early mornings and keep doing it. Stay in touch with us and watch when we set up promotions so you guys don't miss us if we come into town. All right, I'm going to jump back down. Jeffrey's way ahead of me.
Mike is raised by OG, not IG. That's right. That is right.